right, we got another one here. Women regretting divorcing their husbands and divorcing husbands and having major losses. With no further ado, let's get it. Let's go.
Backup plan in case of divorce is your ex-husband is going to pay alimony and child support. Listen up. When I filed for divorce for my ex-husband, he was making over $200,000 a year. I kicked him out in October of 2018. He paid me nothing.
She's making it seem like he doesn't want to pay child support because he doesn't want to take care of his kid. But the real reason is he doesn't want to be extorted by his ex-wife, who is holding his kids hostage for ransom money.
All fact.
The best way to avoid this happening to you is to not get married.
There it is. There it is. Stay winning.
I thought I'd be happier, except the judge set the child support amount at $326 a month. $326 a month for 2 kids for child support is what he has to pay me. $326.
Messed up her retirement plan.
Because he's not working. Because he chooses not to. I was able to cross-examine him, which was fun. And I asked him how many hours a week he spends working or trying to sell houses, because technically he still has a real estate license, so technically he's still a realtor. He said 15 hours a week approximately is how many hours he works per week. Grown man, grown able-bodied man with transportation and no childcare to worry about, says he works 15 hours a week, which I think is kind of a high estimate. I'd put it more at like 0 hours per week. So $326 a month for 2 kids. Fun, right? And this is after I was super gracious and let him keep his parenting time. The guardian ad litem recommended 0 parenting time for dad.
I find it interesting how you think you have the ability to revoke his parenting time if you felt like it just because he only has to pay $300 a month. You're the one who decided to marry and have kids with a man who doesn't work. Yet you go on social media and complain when he has no money to give you for child support.
In Pennsylvania, the courts decide in a divorce based on equitable distribution. Equitable distribution does not mean equal division of assets. It means what the court considers fair. The biggest factor the court's looking at is the difference between the parties' incomes. What the court may not consider is if your spouse cheated. If your spouse cheated, it has no bearing on how the assets are going to be allocated between the two of you. The only thing that will matter if your spouse cheated is whether you're going to have to pay them any type of alimony. It's a factor the court would consider if you were making more money. If you make less money than them, the fact that they cheated has no bearing on your divorce.
If you weren't treating divorce like a side hustle, you wouldn't care that you're not getting any alimony or equal division of assets.
Man, that divorce, listen, the whole point and reason why they want you to go into a marriage is because that divorce is like retirement plan. They're trying to get as much as they can out of you and drain you dry for the rest of your life, bro. It's weird as hell, but they feel like they're owed it.
Assets. I do not encourage or endorse cheating, but you are still not entitled to half of everything they own, even if they do cheat. Before we continue, brother, I would like to ask you to like the video if you have enjoyed it this far, and subscribe to the channel.
To marry someone, you also want to see them as someone you can possibly divorce.
We were talking about whether there should be no fault divorce or fault divorce. We were also talking about, should there even be marriages today?
Well, I mean, I love marriage. I've done it a few times. So, that's my thing,
A few times.
And I hate to say, in my younger days, I used to see it as a sport. I got married for sports. I did get married for the wrong reasons, because a lot of women, they don't know how to, cash in on a marriage. But I had to.
Yeah, man. Listen, they're talking about finessing the system that's set up for them to finesse in the first place. This is wild, man. So to keep talking.
formula, so I did it for fun.
Wow.
But
Okay,
no,
wait. What is the formula for cashing in on a marriage? You know, marriage,
Well,
doing
not- well, not-
marriages for fun.
And so, I mean, I kind of figure out the formula for it. I mean, you know, I can teach y'all that want me to, but that'll be another service. But yeah, one thing is with marriages, I mean, when you look to marry someone, you also want to see them as someone you can possibly divorce. And in a positive way.
Wow.
Like,
Wait. Say that again.
when you get married to someone, you want to see them as someone you're able to divorce.
She said it herself.
That's wild.
She gets married for sport to cash in, while also plotting the divorce before they even
wild.
get married, so she can get even more money. Stay far away from these types of women at all costs.
Story is not unique. I left a marriage after 15 years. I had 3 kids with the man. I had built a life with him, and I really wanted it to work. Deciding when it was time to leave.
You can tell by how she has her cleavage out, and you know, her face tone is different from the rest of her body, that she really is feeling herself, and more than likely feels like she can do better.
Deciding that I had tried hard enough, deciding that yes, it was worth to take the risk of the unknown for leaving the known, which I had become very accustomed to over the last 15 years. And even though I was miserable, there was some security to it. There was a little bit of, at least I was comfortable in knowing what to expect. As the years would roll by, and every birthday I got the same card that said, next year will be better, I, somewhere deep inside, thought to myself, there's no way, and the only way that my life is going to change is if I leave. But I had 3 kids, and I was also thinking, wait, if my happiness means that I'm taking away the kids' happiness, and
Wow. You know, if she's getting a card every year that says things are going to get better, what is she doing to make the situation better for both of them? So it's up to him to make everything better. What was she doing? She was building resentment while this man was going through whatever he was going through to work on the family. She was building resentment and finding a story to come up with that made sense to other people as to why she needs to leave and cheat and whatnot. I'm telling you, man.
all of the guilt that came into play of, am I being so selfish that I want to leave this? And is it bad enough? But here's the kicker. The kicker is that if you are in a place where you are absolutely miserable, you're being treated horribly, whatever your circumstances are, but you know in your heart that the only way to change your life is to leave, let me tell you that you will carry guilt with you, that it will be extremely difficult. And when you are looking for people who you're like, okay, well, she left and look how her life turned out, and you're looking for examples and your mind is researching for the evidence that you're going to be okay, I'm going to tell you that no matter what it is, that's the unknown that's on the other side. If you're in a situation right now where years are passing by and you are still miserable in a relationship and you're not being taken care of and you're not being seen and you're not being heard and you're just being alone in a marriage, the unknown is terrifying, but there's nothing more terrifying than looking back and seeing all the years that you wasted living in fear.
I'm sure I'm not the only one who heard her talk about herself the entire time. She started to talk about how her selfishness would impact her kids just so she could feel better about herself. But then immediately went back to talking about how you should leave if you feel like you're not.
Hey, when she left that man, that was a blessing. That was God's protection. That woman is miserable, and she's making that man miserable. Again, when they do this stuff, like with my ex-wife, the crazy shit that she did to leave, let them go, man. Like, dude, when you let them go and you start living your life, you're gonna see, you know what I'm saying, that you're better off, and that you probably should have done it sooner or let her run away sooner.
Being seen, heard, or taken care of. If we were to ask her what her husband wasn't doing for her, she could give you a laundry list of things he isn't doing. But if you were to ask her what he is doing for her, she wouldn't be able to answer because
So I got divorced in my 40s, remarried at 50 years old, and here's what that taught me about love and happiness. Going through my divorce in my 40s, incredibly difficult, from being used to saying we to now trying to get used to saying I again. And then the biggest challenge, though, was being able to find myself in finding meaning again in all of it. I had to navigate through so many feelings because it really affected my self-worth.
We don't care.
Anyway, guys, make sure you subscribe to
the modern king.
exclusive content.
Yeah, man. Listen, appreciate y'all. Shout out to the new and old school subscribers in my TikTok family. Make sure you guys leave a comment, share the video, and hit the like button. Very important, man. Listen, we're getting them. We're
In this game, you gotta have that dog in you.
Made in America.